Hi, it's Eric McKinnis with Keller Williams Realty, Port St. Lucie, and FloridaListingSource.com. And today I want to share with you one of the ugly sides of real estate. So I have here with me Matt with A+ Mold Inspections. You guys are located here in Port St. Lucie, right?
Martin County.
Martin County, so you service everything along the Treasure Coast and the Palm Beaches?
Correct.
Excellent. So give you a little backstory on this. We're standing on a unit that we manage. The tenant called me and said that there was some softening of the floorboards or the baseboards. I come and took a look at it. It looked like there was water coming out of the shower door. Found there was a little bit of moisture up in the drywall. So replaced the drywall real quick. And about a week later, she calls me back and says, hey, why are there black spots on my drywall? So I come back and I noticed that, yes, indeed, there were some black spots. So I started to get concerned, talked to a handyman. We were about to rip it open and we both said, well, you know, maybe it's not a good idea to rip it open. Let's call some professionals because it looks like mold. Matt, can you explain to us a little bit about what we see here?
So right here, it's a typical water leak. So the moisture right now is soaking through the drywall and it's eating on the outside of the drywall. So you know on the inside of the drywall is just as bad as the outside of the drywall.
Right.
The real thing is how far did it go? What other areas are affected by it as well?
Okay.
And that's really to be determined. You'll know more when they take out some of this tile in the tub. They'll know more how far the water went, where the water's going, and how bad the mold is.
Okay. So here in South Florida, mold is somewhat prevalent, right?
Correct.
We live in a moist tropical environment.
Yes.
So is it true that there's more mold? The incidence of mold in this area is maybe a little bit higher than somewhere that's a little bit cooler? Or?
It really depends. Humidity is key. 60% humidity, you're going to have mold. If your AC is not handling outside humidity very well, then it's going to put it inside. If your AC actually set to the setting on and not on auto, what happens is when the AC reaches its setting, it's still going to run, but it's not going to cool. What it's going to do is be a fan, and it pulls the outside humidity and puts it inside the apartment.
That cooling factor on the AC is not actually on. It's not dehumidifying. It's actually humidifying the inside of your house.
Correct. So
How
once
interesting is
it
that?
reaches the desired temperature, I mean, the fan's still going to run, but it's not going to cool the air. So it's going to be pulling the outside air and put it inside the building.
Interesting. As a realtor in our area, of course, we're always doing our best to try and spot issues for our clients and fix problems like that. We can obviously see that it's evident.
Right.
There's mold there, right?
For sure.
What conditions have to be present for that to be there?
Moisture. Moisture's key. Without moisture, you're not going to have it.
Talk to me about that inspection.
Visual is key. I knew exactly where to look. It was always when we came in. And then I just had to figure out where else is wet. Well, actually in here was wet, the floorboard, over on that wall was. So I knew the area was bigger.
So you found run out here as well? And
over down
over here.
Correct.
Because I didn't even see those spots at all.
Right.
My attention wasn't over there at all.
Right. And that just shows you that it's still an active leak.
Your inspection, what does that consist of?
So that consists of moisture readings. Come in and check the humidity. Temperature and humidity is always key. It's the first thing we look for. When you walk in the house, if it's humid, you know there's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I was checking out the Screenland camera. It's pretty cool. It's got a cool blue spot.
Yep.
Where it indicates a cooler temperature, indicating moisture on the wall.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
So that's pretty easy to, and obviously with these black spots, it's easy to spot with the naked eye, like you said.
Absolutely.
Can mold be growing inside walls and in other places without us really knowing about
Yes,
it?
it can. It can.
Okay.
And then what it'll do is it'll actually create gas. And you'll be able to smell it that way. But yes, that's actually called a hidden mold issue, and it's actually part of the insurance. Insurance has it in their write-ups.
That they will or they won't?
They will cover it.
They will.
Correct.
Hidden mold issues.
Mold issues, yes.
Okay.
So this probably started out most likely as a hidden mold issue. It's just progressively gotten worse, and now it's soaking through the walls and it's now eating on the outside wall.
All right.
Or it was contained to a point.
Is it everywhere we just can't see it? Is there mold everywhere, and does it have to be at a certain concentration to create an issue? Because sometimes you hear about like, oh yeah, well there's mold everywhere. There's mold on the AC handle. It's just part of living in Florida.
Right.
How much truth is there to that?
There is. When you walk outside, there's some sort of mold out there. And you're closer to a swamp or a lake, there's going to be more mold in the air than there is if you're out in an open field somewhere. Mold won't grow like if you have your AC or your fan on. You always have to put their fan on low because mold won't grow on the walls and stuff because it's blowing the spores. So there's still mold in the air, but it's not going to grow on things because it's the air circulating and can't stick anywhere and start growing.
You did your test, you got your findings, and what's the next step after that?
Then I send everything to the lab, then we'll come back and they'll tell you the exact type of mold it is, and then I'll create a protocol. Protocol tells the remediation company how to properly remove the mold, how to dispose of the mold, and then after that's all done, after they rip everything out, get rid of all the mold, I gotta come back for a PRV, post-remediation verification. And that just basically says, yep, all the mold's gone, they can begin the rebuild. And after that, you're all set.
So you did your inspection, you got your findings, you develop a protocol, and then the next guy that come in, it's not you guys, it's a remediator, right?
Right.
They're gonna rip this whole thing apart.
Yep.
They're not gonna put it back together
No.
until you come back
in, and I'll do the testing, make sure that all the mold's gone. And I'll even do an outside test, because what they'll do is they'll contain this room. And so I'll do a test on the outside of the containment, make sure they properly contained it. Because you don't want to spread it around the house, because otherwise it defeats the purpose of removing the mold, because then you got it somewhere else.
Now, is that a protocol that tests remediation, PRV, is that a protocol that's A+ mold?
Part of Florida mold laws.
Florida mold laws.
Yep.
And at what point is that protocol triggered, right?
We do an outside test. So whatever the outside spore count is, it has to be half that inside.
The reality is mold is expensive.
It is.
Right. To find mold, we got to dig into it and find out where it's coming from and get it out.
Yep. You got to fix the leak too.
What if I'd asked him, I said, just go ahead, rip it apart. What's the downside to that?
Well, if you don't properly contain it, then it's going to be in the air. It's going to cause more problems, and then the insurance won't like it either.
If you suspect mold,
right,
call a mold inspector.
Yes.
Have that mold inspection done.
Correct.
Figure out what the protocol is. Yes. If it's positive for mold, the presence of mold, you got to have it remediated, PRV,
yes, and
then you can rebuild.
Correct.
What about mold is, can we share with everybody that isn't commonly known that can help people out?
When it's in the AC, a lot of times you can't smell it because it's being blown around so much. It's not like it's sitting in a room that's still. Like it's not like it's all in this one room so we can be able to smell it more. If it's in the AC, it's be blowing around. You'll know. Your body will tell you. A lot of times.
Your body will tell you.
Your body will tell you.
Tell me about that.
Like I said, you're gonna almost feel like you're gonna have allergies. Your eyes are gonna get real watery. They're gonna be itchy. I mean, you're gonna feel like you're getting sick, and it's most likely your home.
Somebody get concerned, say for the AC. Are you able to see? Is there any kind of visual test you can do to see if there is mold in the AC?
You can look actually at the vents. Sometimes, like the moisture, it'll be growing on the outside of the vent.
Dark stuff.
Yep. It'll almost look like dust.
Yeah, that's important because you're looking at houses. If you're looking at that AC vent, I know what it looks like. I know exactly what it looks like. Yeah. Kind of follows the trail.
Yep,
the trail of the air. You think maybe people have smoked in the house before? That's mold.
That's mold.
That's mold. I learned something valuable.
Yeah.
Honestly, 12 years in this business, I never knew. I figured it was just somebody hadn't cleaned their air filter.
Yep.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming by. We're going to take you through this process, right? Today, Matt did the inspection, got his findings. You'll send it out to the lab.
Correct.
They'll develop a protocol. We'll get a remediator in here to do that work, and we'll go ahead and film that and show you what that looks like. And then the PRV, the post-remediation, I'm still learning the language. Post-remediation verification.
Correct.
We'll get a little bit of footage in on that so you can see what that looks like. And then, hey, we have an opportunity to do a home improvement video. We're gonna probably end up gutting this whole thing. We'll take you through the process. So thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.